guess who's back? Welcome back to my channel. Whatever is left of my channel, I swear, I know. You know what, you guys, it's not even that I'm not consistent, it's just that I'm not consistent. But it's not like something I do on purpose. It's because I don't know how to explain, you guys. I get into like my own head, okay? And you know how they say like there's no worse critic than yourself? I get into like this mode of telling myself maybe I'm not good enough. Well, I don't even know why I get into that mode, but I get into that mode where it's like I am so mean with myself. Like I'm not gonna get into it because like if you guys know what I tell myself, you guys are gonna be like, Mary, what the hell's wrong with you? Like why would you say that to yourself? But I'm happy to be back. We are back with why I got fired from my last job story time. I got so much tea. I got so much tea about this company. They were gonna get into why I got fired from my previous retail job that you guys know I worked for 5 years. I don't know why I'm doing this. Story time. Of course, I'm gonna be getting ready while I do this. Without further ado, let's just get into the story. Shit, it's been recording. First things first. Yes, as black as my soul. What I'm gonna need y'all to do today is not mind how messy and cluttered my background is. Okay. Listen, I'm a very compulsive person and I tend to do a lot of things out of impulse. Like too many things out of impulse. In fact, my whole life is pretty much based on an impulse. So y'all know that I'm obsessed with the Ioni lashes for the fact that not only do I love them for myself but also for my clients. And so like I decided to buy it with one of these stands, but the problem with the stand is that it's one of those cross stands, and so if I stand it up, like the lashes go monk, so like they start falling off, right? So I found no other place but there currently. But I have made friends with the cashier from the 99-cent store close by, and she's gonna let me know on their next shipment because now they're doing like those other actual normal stands, and so like I'm gonna get another probably 100 pair of lashes just so I can get that stand and my room can kind of look normal. All right, so we're gonna get right into when I got fired. So technically I didn't get fired, but I was on the blacklist. And I'll give you all the tea why I was on the blacklist. By the way, you guys, speaking of Ioni, you guys get a hold or find the Ioni teardrop sponges. Guys, this is Beauty Blender. Not to insult Beauty Blender, but this is Beauty Blender quality at $1. $1. Maybe $1.29 because the lashes went up to $1.29, which is still a steal. You guys. So I got this situation. Oh shit. So these are all dirty beauty blenders. Oh no shade. I can't believe I'm this comfortable with you guys. Anyways, I purchased about 100 of those. So I'm not gonna say the name of the retailer. Probably a lot of you guys that have been following me for a long time or watching me for a while now know the retailer I'm talking about. If you guys do go through my videos and figure out or find out the name of the retailer, I want to make it clear that the company itself has nothing to do with how shitty their staff could be, okay? Because this is a retailer that has, I don't know, shit, like a lot of stores. I just want to clarify that for the fact that I see videos like these before where they shade like the whole company name. The company probably had no idea of the situation that was going on in that location because you never took it to human resources or corporate. Nobody finds out about it unless you take it there, okay? And so I worked for this company for 5 years, you guys. 5 years before I got let go. The reason why I got let go was because of the pandemic. And the reason why I want to bring up that there was shady crap going on there was we, and I mean the ones that got let go, found out that they were actually given a list to choose from to let go. Our position had a team of like 10, and so my position is called an on-call / floater. And pretty much what that is we get to pick up whatever hours we want to work that actual permanent associates don't want to work. It's pretty cool. You pretty much get to make your own schedule. The downside is that we had to wake up at 2 in the morning every other Sunday to make sure that we get the hours that we wanted, or how many like we wanted to work and the times that we wanted to work. To me, it was worth the sacrifice for the fact that with my lifestyle, I do require a lot of flexibility in jobs, and this was just perfect for me, which is the reason why I was so down when I was let go, because I was like, damn, what job is that flexible? You can come in at the time that you are able to come in, well, you still get to do the stuff that you need to do on the daily life. Me, for example, as a mom, as a wife, as a daughter, I can say I was really happy, and it was almost, I don't want to say it was a dream job because it's not something I wanted to stay in forever. At the same time, it is something that I wanted to stay in for a while. Many of you guys know I do have a couple of small business, plus I'm really trying to grow my YouTube, so I really want to do this, and even growing this, I still wanted to stick around at my retailer job. The department that I worked for was cosmetics, and I was what you would say a beauty advisor. The fun part about my job was that I worked for all lines, you name them, Estee Lauder, Clinique, Chanel, Dior, Laura Mercier. Honestly, I was really happy at my job. But of course, and I'm not trying to be sarcastic here, this is real shit. This is like reality of life. Everywhere you go, there's gonna be favoritism, there's gonna be retaliation, there's gonna be all kinds of crap that you're probably gonna have to deal with, but it's your choice how you want to handle it. Something that I learned along the way working for this company is to know my shit, and by that I mean know the policies by heart. What was allowed, like how far can they push it and how far can I push it, or what can I do to defend myself. To be honest, no company wants that. No company likes that. They don't want you to know your shit. Let me retract myself. Not the company. No job supervisors or management wants you to really know what your rights are. You can say no if you need to say no, and have more power as an associate than they do as management. They don't want you to know that. Before I get into like the tea, I really want to encourage anybody that might be working for a company right now, a retailer, to please educate yourself on knowing your store's policies. That way, if you ever find yourself in a situation where you feel it's unfair, you know what you can do about it. And so I encourage anybody that is currently working anywhere, know your shit, because everyone has rights. There's always somebody above somebody, and if somebody in power does not want to listen to you, there's always somebody above them that is 100% aware that there's laws that protect you and that you can pretty much get taken care of. So please, get on your shit. You never want to end up in a position feeling helpless because you don't know what to do or you don't know how to handle the situation. You're left with that feeling of frustration that you know that it's not right, but you just decide not to do anything about it because you don't know what to do about it. And so I'm going to tell you right now, the reason why I was let go had a lot to do with favoritism, retaliation, and because I got on the blacklist. Now, how did I get on the blacklist? I pretty much called out any BS. Now, when you question management or you question anybody in power who's trying to tell you to do something that you know it's not right or it doesn't sit with you because you feel that it's unfair or something around those lines, you're pretty much labeled as hard to deal with. And it's not that you're hard to deal with. It's just that you might be one of the very few that decide to actually speak up and question the system because it doesn't sit right with you or you feel that it's unfair. I would say when you do this, you are going to get on somebody's blacklist. And what does that mean? That means that at any time that they have a chance to get rid of you, they will. That's pretty much what happened to me. Other two girls that got let go with me, along with some other two permanent associates. That so happened to be a gay couple. It had a lot to do with discrimination and retaliation against them too. Unfortunately, they decided not to take action. Everybody deals with things the way they want to deal with them. And it is the reason why I'm no longer there and I was no longer taken back when I went to interview in an attempt to get my job back. Well, the first incident where I kind of saw how shit really was there, a year into working with the company. At this time, I was still on call and they wanted to promote me. At that point of my life working into the company, I did believe in the company's interest for every associate's growth and bettering in their lives and in general. And the two managers who were there really wanted me to succeed and to grow. Believed that I really had potential and that I had a lot to bring to be a permanent in a counter. What does that mean? That means that you're an actual permanent associate. Let's say Estee Lauder or any of those lines. What is the difference? Now you get generated up to 35 to 40 hours for sure. So you're guaranteed from 35 to 40 hours. The only thing is that the system of the company does generate your schedule. So it's kind of like because you do get to choose a day off at the same time. And you do get to choose what 3 days you want to work in the morning and what 3 days you would be willing to work more of an afternoon shift. And that was pretty cool. At that point in my life, I actually would have been able to commit 100% to a counter for the fact that at the time my son didn't go to school. So like I didn't have like this crazy schedule like I do now. I require so much specifics. Now, there's nothing wrong with like having a particular schedule need as long as you're an amazing worker. Sometimes they're willing to work with you, you know? Problem is once you become an inconvenience, I know I haven't been mentioning the products I've been using, and I won't. This is something I'm like really like excited about. If you guys want to know anything I'm using, just ask me in the comments. I'll answer you. But I will be using this Pricked Artistry palette by Jeffree Star. I really love the packaging of this bag. You can literally turn this into like a clutch or a portable bag once the shadows finish, which just that's never, but you guys could just take this out and it's totally cool. You guys can use that. Look at how beautiful, like this is just, oh my god. I feel like if there's something you guys should know by this point is that my top favorite colors is green, burnt oranges, and dry wine pomegranate red. They're just, fall season is just like I can live in fall season all year round. Lipstick collection that goes with it are the liquid lipstick colors. I already used like 2 colors or like 3, like I already used a couple of these, but anything burnt oranges, warm tones, fall looking, anything fall, I just love it. And just for the record, even with like the specific schedule that I required in order to be able to work, I still managed to work from 45 to 50 hours a week. Now, some of the gals that did get let go, they were on the blacklist because they only wanted to work specific times and specific days only. And I do understand that at the end of the day, this is a business. Also, at the end of the day, this was a flexible on-call position, which means that we were meant to pick up pretty much the scraps, leftover hours that other associates didn't want. And it was pretty double standard because when we would try to complain that there wasn't enough hours, like the first thing they would tell us that, well, you were hired on calls, and when you guys were hired, you guys were told that you guys are not promised any hours. There's going to be weeks where you might not even have hours. Which, okay, like, it's true. But then, when they wanted to make us come in certain times of days and we couldn't, then we would tell them, like, well, we are on calls and we are supposed to be picking hours that we could work accordingly to the hours that are available. They would hit us with the, yeah, but you guys are supposed to be reliable and come in when we tell you to come in. So you could never win. Now, I never really had a problem with that because, again, I was there almost the whole time, you guys. When they asked me and I couldn't come, they knew that it was because I really couldn't come. They knew this because they knew that I was there every single day. I was really reliable. Even on my days off, that was supposed to be my day off. If they needed me to come in, I would come in. Because to me, I'm not doing anybody a favor. It's more like, hey, extra hours, I'm getting paid, whatever, you know? I'm just filling my bag more for the week, and that's the way I see it. One of the managers that really wanted to see my growth had already left. She was such an amazing manager that they really wanted to move her to a higher position, but in another location. She was going to be in another store in a whole other city. I'm really down because she was one of those amazing managers that was really straightforward and very honest, and it's really hard to find that. So we're going to name one of the managers Saint, and we're going to name the other one Patricia. Patricia was the new manager. She was the one that at that time, she had not been around for more than maybe 4 months. At this time, the permanent associates from Chanel, who was a part-timer, had actually gone on a maternity leave. So happens that around this time, they were going to have like this really important national event, which worldwide Chanel makeup artists would come into the store. They're going to do like makeup and skincare for clients. The reason why this event was huge was because the goal of this event was ridiculously high. I honestly don't remember what the goal was. I want to say it was 49,000 because I do remember we all had a pre-sale goal of 5,000, which means we pre-sold items, promising them a free makeover and a free like little Chanel sample bundles. Now, you guys shop with Chanel. You guys know they're not a gift line, so they're not like Estee Lauder or Lancome where they give you like a 6-piece gift with your $35 purchase. Like, they don't do that shit. The only gifts Chanel provides are for like their VIP customers, and I know this because I have one of the VIP gifts. I have like this VIP, I don't even know where it is, but I have this Chanel bag, but it's like a Chanel cosmetics bag. It is like that quilted material that they usually have for the handbags with the 2 C's on it. The way I read it was, it's a VIP cosmetics bag not made by Chanel but for Chanel. So it's produced for their VIP customers. Their VIP customers are people who spend thousands of dollars like in one sitting and they get this as a free gift. The reason why I got a hold of one of those is because I bought it off eBay or something. I forgot how much I got it for. But of course, it's not a ridiculous amount like a handbag. So the fact that we were going to have like a little bundle of deluxe size like skincare samples for the customers, like this excited them. They were like, oh yes, I'm in for the sample. So I don't know. Now that I think about it, like I don't even know how it makes sense to purchase 3 Chanel items in order to get like a little bundle of samples. Because like in 3 Chanel items, you're pretty much spending $150 and up. They were getting offered a free complimentary makeup service that was going to be done by like the top national Chanel world makeup artists. These are people coming from all over the States. We even had like the main lead. He usually is the one in charge that goes to like the Chanel headquarters in New York, something like that. The Chanel team had loved me so much that they had requested to the managers if they can please leave me there for the 3 to 4 months that the other associate was going to be gone on her maternity leave. Now, Saint was really happy right away, and she said Maria is really going to appreciate full-time hours that she's going to be provided, because even though the gal that had left is a part-timer, they were going to assign her full-time hours because, again, this event had really ridiculous high goals. They were going to need her there as a full-timer. I was totally cool with them. Like, yes, 35 to 40 hours a week sounds great to me. And I remember they had like a little quick meeting with like the Chanel girls and me. They pretty much told me that for those 4 months, I was going to be exclusively with Chanel only. So I wasn't going to have to worry about picking up hours. I was just going to have to come in at the designated times that the system would generate for me, right? I was really happy. I was in the clouds because, to be honest with you, when I had barely applied to this company, I actually applied for the Chanel position that was available. But they hired me as an on-call, which for me was like the best thing in the world because the freedom that I got. But I still had intentions of one day working my way up to Chanel, eventually be a permanent part of their team. Now, after a while, I really grew to be happy that they never hired me for Chanel. Their reasoning was that they didn't believe I was ready. Now, this was before they assigned me to be with Chanel for those 4 months, temporarily, by the way, okay? One of the managers, Saint, she said something along the lines of wanting to set me up for like success, not failure. Now, I knew in my heart that I was going to be able to rock that position because I was 100% committed, and there's a reason why the girls really wanted me to be there with them, okay? She didn't want to give it to me. I call it BS. I think she just already had somebody in mind. Rather hire somebody new because they could pay them less than somebody who's already been in the game. Business-wise, it makes sense, but it kind of sucks because, to be honest with you, that has actually held a lot of people from growth. It sucks, but it's reality. Now, there's like a lot of details that weren't taken care of or gone over at the moment. At the time that they had told me that I was going to be with Chanel temporarily for 4 months, I already had hours with other counters. Now, I had personally asked my manager, Patricia, what was going to happen with that because I had certain counters that I was scheduled for, and she said to stay in Chanel. This is how she told me. Just stay in Chanel. So the controversy happened. At the Chanel counter, you guys, it wasn't just Chanel. It was one big bay and half of it was Chanel. With the other half of it was Clarence and half of it was Elizabeth Arden. You guys might not even know what Elizabeth Arden is, but Elizabeth Arden is actually one of the most underrated lines ever. Like, they have amazing, and I'm talking about amazing skincare to offer. Elizabeth Arden is actually huge in New York, but like not really anywhere else. Until this day, I still use like their ceramide capsules, their retinol capsules, eye serum capsules, and their Pervage line. Even though it's pretty pricey, it's one of the best things you can ever use for your skin. And I'm telling you this from experience because remember, I did work there 5 years and I worked for every line. And one of the things that I did is every time I had free time at any counter that I was working for the day, I read all their books and I educated myself about their products. Anywho, in one of those counters just happens to be one of Patricia's friends. Now, these two gals had been friends way before because Patricia used to be the shoe department manager. So these two gals had known each other for years by now. How do I know they're friends? Not only did I always see them talking every time Patricia passed by, like they always had to have some kind of conversation. But there's one girl that used to work for the benefit counter, and it was right in front of the Chanel counter, and she said that these two would actually hang out outside of work, and it was known that they would hang out like in each other's families' parties. So I mean, that sounds like a very close friendship to me. But like whatever happens outside of work is like really none of our business. Honestly, it really isn't. Really, it isn't. I don't care what people do outside of work. Like, it really isn't any of my business. Not only that, but it was known, okay, that we'll name her Caitlin, okay? We're gonna name Patricia's friend Caitlin, okay? And so it was known that Caitlin would always text Patricia about anything that was going down. For example, if two girls from the same bay went to lunch, Caitlin will text Patricia, hey, two girls from the same bay went to lunch. They're short on coverage because now they're both at lunch. How do I know this? Because sometimes Patricia was like out and about somewhere, and out of nowhere she would come straight to the counter where the two girls had left to lunch once they were back from lunch. Now you can say, well, Maria, how did you guys know that it was Caitlin the one telling Patricia? It could have just been a coincidence that she just happened to walk by when she saw the two girls coming back from lunch. Well, that's the thing, you guys, that it didn't happen like, oh, coincidentally one time. Like, it would happen often. And why did I suspect that Caitlin was actually texting Patricia? Because sometimes when people had coffees hidden under the register's counters, Patricia was really obvious. Like, it's not like she would come around to pretend to ask them questions and pretend she's looking for something in the counter or snoop around a little and then, oh, I found a cup of coffee. No, she would come straight and go under the counter of the register and then get the cup of coffee out and like, you can't have this. Like, you either take it to the lunchroom or throw it away, right? Those things that it's like, okay, it's obvious that Caitlin does text her anytime she sees that anybody's breaking the rules or whatever. Now, yes, they aren't supposed to have coffee or whatever, but damn, really must not have anything better to do than be telling on people. Like, how bored must you have to be telling on people, you know? It's not part of your job description to be telling on people. Like, why would you go the extra mile just to be an ass kisser, you know? I will admit, Caitlin had a way to talk. Just one of those that knew exactly what to say to have anybody in their bag, and that included the managers, the store's supervisors, because we had two. The advantage of this lady was that she had been working for this store like 50,000 years of her life. Because it's one of those cases with like, you might have been working together in a counter in 1990 something, and then this person so happened to become an executive or like a store supervisor. And like, you've been friends with this person all this time, so therefore you're friends with the person who is in power, pretty much. One time, you guys, I was doing what I was supposed to do, minding my own business, working really hard to pre-sell these ridiculous high numbers for Chanel. The thing I do gotta say is it was one of the best experiences ever because I got to meet these world artists, and it was really amazing because one of the ladies refused to get makeup done by these artists, and she demanded that I did her makeup, and it was amazing. I'll put a picture right here so you can see. Even though like 3 of them went to explain to her why it was like amazing that they would take care of her, she said, I don't care, I want her to do my makeup. If not, I'm gonna walk out of this chair and I'm not gonna buy anything. So it was pretty cool. It was just very flattering, okay? It was really cool because like at this time, like I was like hopeful that one day I got to become one of those makeup artist, right? Of course, it was amazing. I was really young. I was like 23 years old, and you think you know what you want until you know you can get more, right? Anyways, the specific day, I remember I still had about 2 shifts left to cover in Laura Mercier, but they had told me to stay in Chanel, so that's what I did, right? Because that's what they had told me to do, so that's what I did, right? This Caitlin lady. This lady had like this sleek way of asking you questions that were really none of her business, but she just wanted to know because she wanted to know everything. Because like that was her thing. She had the tendency of like asking, oh, what time did you come in? You would tell her like, oh, what time you were off? Like, honestly, didn't have it in me or wanted to be rude to her because at the end of the day, she was an elder lady. And honestly, I didn't really have the personality that I have now. Honestly, didn't care if she knew or not. Honestly, like it didn't affect me in any way. Because like, I never thought she would try to affect me in any way with that information, you know? So that specific day, I remember since the morning she came in, she told me, oh, you're here. And I said, yeah. I opened today. She goes, oh, that's weird because I thought I was the only opener. We're talking counter wise, okay? Like every counter has its opener. And I said, oh no, they told me to come in at this time, and that's what I did. Oh, who told you? Oh, I'm scheduled. Oh, but I don't see you in the schedule. Oh yeah, it's because originally I was in Laura Mercier, which was right in front of us. Originally, I'm scheduled in Laura Mercier, but Patricia told me to just stay in Chanel. And she's like, but then who's gonna be in Laura Mercier? And I said, I'm sure there's somebody who's gonna be coming in shortly. And she's like, but there's nobody there. I can see that, but I'm sure there's somebody who's gonna come in, and we can always oversee the counters because that's our job. We have to oversee counters that don't have anybody there. And she's low-key trying to send me over there, you know, for no reason. It's one of those that even though it's not necessary, just the feeling of getting somebody to do what she says to do, she gets like her thrills out of that, you know? Like if she really had power when she was nobody. She was counter manager for the line that she was working for, but she was like nobody to tell me what to do. But again, Patricia told me to stay in Chanel, so that's where I'm gonna stay my ass, you know? Like that's where I'm gonna stay. She's like, oh, but then they're gonna need coverage for lunch. At that point I was like really annoyed, so I was like, if they do need coverage for lunch, we will see at that time, and we can always oversee the counter. What's the problem? And she just stood quiet and she looked very annoyed. It's just one of those things where it's like, damn, it's something that doesn't really freaking directly affect you. Like, you're not even in charge of the cosmetics department. What's it to you, you know? You're not the one who's gonna be dealing with that. Like, you know what is your problem? What is it to you? Then counter manager of Chanel comes in, and I went to take my break, right? And when I come back, they're like whispering. The Chanel counter manager is one of like those classic Chanel ladies. By the way, I'm gonna be using these Ioni Wispy Crisscross Dramatic Lashes. I love these, especially for like smoky-ish eyes makeup looks. From my stand. She was like one of those classic Chanel ladies, like very soft-spoken, very well-spoken, educated. Always had like the Chanel classy lady, perfect Chanel profile. And she was really pretty. She was blonde with blue eyes, rosy cheeks. Like she was just one of those beautiful ladies, okay? Her makeup was always like classic, bare minimum Chanel. That was one of the things that I had to like kind of get used to because well, I pretty much would just go to work like this. So I had to like tame my makeup down, but at the same time like not so much, because at the time Chanel was trying to become like more of like that, they were trying to like join like that trendy new makeup generation kind of vibe, and they're coming up with like highlighters and stuff like that, you know, when like highlighter became huge and all that stuff. So I come back from my break and they're both like whispering, right? And as I come back, it seems like the Chanel counter manager, we'll name her Camellia, because Camellia is literally like the flower that represents Chanel, because they add camellia to pretty much anything. If you ever get a hint of fragrance from their makeup, skincare, it's the camellia flower. So we'll name her Camellia. And so when I come back from my break, they're whispering. It's like they're having like a back and forth, I don't want to say heated, but like a back and forth escalating type of like conversation. Camellia gives me the impression that she was like trying to shut down the conversation. And I really try not to look at them both. It does seem like they're having a conversation that they don't want me to hear. Kind of just go on with my day, doing my work, like I'm going over numbers and all that stuff, right? Then Caitlin goes on break. It seems like she's upset about something, but I really don't pay much mind to it because, I mean, we already knew how Caitlin was, you know? And I was off at 4 o'clock that day. Camellia asked me if I was willing to stay until 6 o'clock because she would really like get those pre-sale numbers in as soon as possible. That way after we make our goal, whatever we pre-sale, it's like extra boost for the day. And like the day of, we wouldn't have to like push sales as hard and it wouldn't be as stressful, because I'm telling you guys, the goal was ridiculous. I don't know if it was like 49,000 or something like that. And I said yes, of course. To me, again, it's extra hours. I'm getting paid. I'm thrilled to be working only for Chanel, and I love it. I love every single thing of it, right? At this time, Patricia had gone to vacation, right? And before she left, she had left Camellia in charge of the counter, and anything that was needed, she was authorized to do whatever she needed to ensure that she had what she needed for the event. Love this Contour Cocoa palette. I just love it so much. And so Camellia had asked me to stay extra because she was authorized to, and then she would let Patricia know that she had me stay extra, you know, just to let her know. Camellia goes to lunch and I'm left there with Caitlin. Caitlin hasn't spoken to me like in the whole day. Like, I'm telling you, this woman was like super annoyed about something that had nothing to do with her, honestly. So she asked me, what time are you off? And I said, well, I was off at 4, but Camellia asked me if I could stay till 6, so I'm gonna have to stay until 6. And she's like, no, you don't have to stay until 6 if you're scheduled at 4. I'm like, yeah, I already told Camellia I would, so I'm gonna stay until 6. Does Patricia know about this? I'm like, Patricia's on vacation, and either way, Patricia left Camellia in charge, so I'm pretty sure it'll be fine. Like, Camellia was one of those associates that went by the book. She didn't like anybody coming to tell her anything, so she would go by the book because she didn't ever want to be involved in a situation where you would tell her how to do her job, because she had been in the game also for like 50 plus years of her life, you know? So she's not going to do something that she knows she's going to be later on held accountable for and that she might get in trouble. Like, she's not going to do that. Camellia comes back from lunch, right? And then I go to lunch. By the time I came back from lunch, it was already 4 o'clock and Caitlin had left already. Seeing that Caitlin had left, I told Camellia, hey, it just seemed like she was bothered by the fact that you had told me to stay after my scheduled time. She goes, she was really bothered. Now, I don't understand why any of this has to do with her. She's really upset because she was supposed to be off at 2 and he told her she could stay till 4 o'clock. You know, she said yes, that was her problem. And apparently Caitlin had told Camellia while I was on lunch, like, I don't understand why they asked me to stay till 4. If she's gonna be staying till 6 o'clock, it just doesn't make sense. Like, the babe will be perfectly covered. Now, Caitlin tended to leave at 2 o'clock. And that was like pretty much her set scheduled, because I always talked the manager into switching her shift so she would only come in the morning and leave at 2 o'clock. Now that's another thing that's gonna play a role, and just hold on. And I was like, well, yeah, I don't understand why she was bothered by it. Like, she acts like, I don't know, like, you're telling me that I need to be at this other bay and, you know, I'm just doing what I was told to do. I don't understand why she's so pressed about it. She's like, you know, that's what she gets. You know, that's what she gets for not saying no when she doesn't want to stay. Now, here's the thing about Caitlin. Caitlin was always asking for favors, right? And the reason why she was always able to ask for favors was because she was an ass kisser. This manager pretty much always favored her because, again, she was an ass kisser. And so anytime she needed a favor, like moving her schedule around, it would happen for her because She knew how to kiss ass to get her way in, you know? Now, you guys, this that I'm about to tell you was a part where I was like, okay, all these rumors that was going on, all this shit that this lady was like texting her, telling her on people, because like honestly at the end of the day it didn't directly affect me ever until this very fucking moment, okay, that I'm about to tell you. Now, I'm off at 6, right? I go home. My drive home is like 10 to 15 minutes depending on traffic, because the store is literally like 10 minutes away depending on traffic. Remember I told you Patricia is on vacation. The only one on duty is Saint. But Saint so happened to be off that day and I got told to stay until 6 instead of 4, right? What does that mean? That means there was no manager in charge in the cosmetics department. That happened. If we ever had an issue, all we had to do is call another manager from another department just for customer service. Like whatever, they wanted to return something that was like past due the dates of returning, the manager would take care of it, right? Otherwise, the managers wouldn't really come and bother to pass by the cosmetics department. We're pretty much just there on our own. Tell me why, you guys. I remember getting home around, I specifically remember the time that I saw the message. It was 6:23 that I saw a message coming from Patricia. Mind you, Patricia's on vacation, right? I don't know why I had a feeling. I remember going to my mom's room, like laying upside down on her bed to read the message in a quiet place. I don't know why. I just felt like I needed like that quietness to like take it in and know what I'm about to say, right? The message said something along the lines of, make sure you are on your assigned counter where you're originally scheduled and that you are not staying over hours from what you're scheduled. Now, was I heated? Yeah, the hell I was fucking heated. You know why? Because she specifically had told me, because I asked her, right? That's why I asked. So she could tell me, that's why I fucking asked, right? That's why I motherfucking asked, right? Okay. She had told me to just stay in Chanel when I had asked her what was I gonna do with the days that I was scheduled on other freaking counters. She told me just stay in Chanel. Okay? Right. Alright. Cool. I don't know how this lady or what this lady told her, right? This Caitlin lady, I don't know how she said it to her or what she freaking told her, right? Sure, it was something made me seem like the bad guy because there was another event situation that happened where put words in my mouth that I never said, and I'll tell you that in a minute. You're gonna be heated too. Just get ready to be heated. First of all, I was really disappointed because I didn't expect for something like this to be happening in such a big company. Like, I honestly expected better. I would leave this kind of shit to like little warehouses because I used to work in warehouses before, and so this is the kind of little shit that I would expect from warehouses because the culture of warehouses, like the way things are like handled, maneuvered and all that stuff, like they're different in a fucking company. I know this because I work in warehouses, in little restaurants, and in companies now, right? So I know how to tell the difference of how things go down depending on the type of workplace. Right. Still with me? Yes, bear with me. Okay, cool. I told her. Clearly there was a miscommunication between you and me because I had personally asked you, hey, what am I gonna do with the days that I'm actually scheduled in other counters? Because by this time, I had already been assigned to stay with Chanel, so I needed to know if the coverage for the other bays that I was supposed to be covering originally were already taken care of because the coverage is under my responsibility because I'm scheduled there. And literally, I remember her face, just stay in Chanel. That's what she told me. That's what I freaking did. Okay, apparently there was a miscommunication there. And I want to say I misunderstood, but I did not because that's the reason why I freaking asked her. Right. And I said it straight up, you guys. I said it straight up. I am really disappointed that such behavior is happening within such a big known company because I understand that that lady has been working so many years for this company, but I don't think it's right for her to be texting you while you're on vacation off work hours, outside of work hours, outside of the workplace. I don't think it's right. And yes, I said it to her. And yes, I straight up said it to her. I tell you, that is the first time I actually stood up. Well, not the first time. This is the second time I actually stood up the way I stood up to her because I had stood up before I actually got let go from that job precisely. Because standing up for yourself, that's what's going to pretty much bring to you, right? And that brings us to understand why people take so much crap from their workplace. It's understandable, but let's not make that relatable, okay? And so I brought it up to her attention that I was really disappointed at the fact that this was going on in such a big company that I am 100% aware that she was being that she was texting her about something that was none of her business and she was not in charge of taking care of. I wanted to make it clear that I knew that sure, even though in their eyes I messed up, they messed up too, because they should not be having this kind of close communication, especially her being off the clock. Okay, now, and she replies with I want to make sure you understand where you stand. And this made me more heated for the fact that I did not have to commit to the counter if I didn't want to. Just let them figure it out on their own. I have to do that. I knew where I stood. I knew where my position was. But let me tell you something. The Chanel counter was not the only counter that would have wanted me to become a permanent team member of their line. There was other counters that really wanted me, including the big 3 lines, which was Estee Lauder, Clinique, and Lancome. They wanted me in their team too. But my heart was set in Chanel at that time. I knew where I stood because I was 100% aware of my potential. Let me go on top lipstick too. Just like kind of calm down a little bit, okay? I don't know if to use this. This might be too bright. Yeah, it might be too bright. This too bold. I'm not really feeling bold today. This one kind of washes me out though. I remember trying it last time. I'm just gonna use this one. This one is Play Your Luck. Ha! What a funny name, huh? Play Your Luck. Because I look dead. Like, I know my lips look dead. And I'm like talking. And like my lips just be looking dead. Sorry if I'm out of battery, guys, because my camera died and like I went to get the battery. And my ass is like so out of shape that running from my room to my living room really has me out of breath. I know. This bitch is out of shape. I know this is like so ironic and controversial, but Jeffree Star and Kat Von D's liquid lipsticks are like the best, most comfortable liquid lipsticks. And it's crazy because like these are 2 brands that now have beef with each other. And I know a lot of you guys like probably don't like Jeffree Star. I don't dislike the guy because I'm nobody to judge, honestly. I feel like he's messy, but like I know a lot of people that are too. And like I think we can all be messy. His products are always on top. I don't know. I love the packaging, the quality of his products. Pretty. I hope it looks like I'm squinting because like my blind ass, like my glasses are somewhere over there. I don't really wear glasses. I don't like wearing glasses, but I'm just trying to see if like the camera is appreciating the colors. Anyways, next morning, that was my own saliva attempting against my own life. Next morning I come in and I'm very heated, right? But I'm like keeping my composure, right? So like I expressed to her how upset I am because of the whole situation, right? And she's like raging, you guys. I can see that her blood is boiling. Now, mind you, Camila is one of those people that stays out of trouble, keeps to herself. She's also one of those that is not scared of putting a stop to whatever is going on that is not okay. She's pretty cool. So her blood is boiling, right? And she's getting as upset as she could. Like she's one of those like well-composed ladies. She's like, oh my God, like what is it to her, you know? And I'm like, I know, and I'm like so upset, right? Caitlin comes in and she says hi and I ignored her. And I know that's so disrespectful, you guys, but I'm one of those people that I tend to be polite, even if I dislike the person, right? But this lady had specifically pissed me off and messed with my work. Camellia took this whole situation, the other cosmetics manager, Saint, told her the whole situation, and Saint specifically, remember, she took me to the doc room, sat me down, and she told me that she just wanted me to know that I have an amazing asset to the team. Thanks to my hard work, the numbers are looking great, that I am playing my role in Chanel like she never expected I would, because I was really playing my role. I really had turned myself into perfectly well-fitted Chanel rep. I was dressing like one and I was doing my makeup like one girl. Like I had the whole thing going, like the whole pearl shebang going on and everything. Soft makeup, super classy, hair like super tame, because girl, y'all know my curly hair be wilding everywhere. And I had my hair like, I had like my sleek bun perfectly in place, like no fly outs and whatever whatsoever. And so she said she really loved that, and that I was exceeding their expectations, that she just wanted me to know that I was doing amazing, and that she wanted me to ignore and pretty much block out any negative things that might be happening, right? I remember having like feeling my face hot and having like this irritation, obvious irritation in my eyesight, like, you know when you're really irritated, it's obvious. And she told me it was brought to her attention, the whole situation. I was straightforward with her. Again, this is the first time that somebody directly tried to mess with my work. Like, it was just something I had never experienced, and I really didn't know how to react. At the same time, I knew I wasn't gonna let myself. So I told Saint straight up, I'm like, listen, Saint, I'm not stupid. She straight up told me, she goes, I know you're not. I'm like, correct me if I'm wrong, but as far as I know, when one of you guys in management goes on vacation, they're not really allowed to be communicating to you whatever problems are going on from the company, because as far as I know, and by law, nobody in management is allowed to talk to you off work hours, especially on your vacation, on something so insignificant like somebody staying over hours or being at the wrong bay. Saint was trying to keep it professional. She said, well, as a team, we are allowed to communicate with each other of any events that may be concerning, you know, all that professional bullshit. Okay, she pretty much told me that, yes, it could happen. But I know it's a fact that by law, that's not even supposed to be a thing. Like, they're not even supposed to be communicating with you off work hours, okay? But whatever, I'm not gonna argue with her because she's cool. She's cool as fuck. Like, Saint is really cool. And I expressed to her how disappointed I was that such thing is going on in such a professional environment. To me, it was just so unprofessional. Like, the fact that she texted me after hours too, I just didn't appreciate it, you know. I to go back out there, that she was gonna take care of it and that to keep doing the amazing job that I was doing. Then you guys, then Caitlin gets called into the office and I don't know what was said, but it took about good 45 minutes, maybe an hour. I don't know what was said. She came back so pissed, so freaking pissed off, you guys. Through the time that she was gone, I was talking to Camellia and I had shared with Camellia what Saint had told me. And Camellia confessed to me that she brought her up to her attention and that she let her know how upset she was because all she was trying to do was make it happen for the counter. For somebody to come and intervene with that because of whatever inconveniences they might be going through by their own decision could not affect or have anything to do with whatever she's doing for her counter, right? So Camellia goes to lunch. I'm in the Chanel side of the bay the whole time because I do not want to have anything to do with this Caitlin lady. I'm gonna admit I was butthurt, and I was butthurt not so much because she told on me, but I was more butthurt at the fact of who told on me, because this Caitlin lady was known to like be a teller. At the same time, I felt like I had a good relationship with her. I would try to help her in whatever I can because I was an uncle. Sometimes I would bring her like a cart full of product from the stock room so she can like fill her stock in. The whole time she would be sitting like on this little cart because she was old, her knees hurt, whatever. So I would bring her the cart full of stuff and she could just be sitting there like taking her time, putting her stuff away like in her vitrine, because like everything's displayed on vitrines. You know how retailers are. And we would have conversations like this lady. Until this day, I'll admit that this lady was capable of providing you a good ass conversation. Like one of those, she was a good storyteller. Like she always had an interesting, amazing story to tell. Something I do have is I love talking to elder people because they always have stories and I love stories, like story time. And I had like that good connection, or so I thought, relationship with her. But I always knew I did have to kind of be careful with her. One of the things where you want to give the benefit of the doubt, because I've never been the type of person that stays away from somebody just because somebody tells me, hey, watch out with her because she's a shit talker. Like I've never been that person. I've always been like, well, let's see if she talks shit about me. Until she talks shit about me, then I'll be like, watch out with her because she's a shit talker, right? I'll keep my distance from her. I was hurt, y'all. Like my little feelings were hurt and whatnot. I'm gonna admit it. Caitlin calls out my name, but like I'm on the other side of Chanel, right? I'm like giving my back to Caitlin, just facing like the entrance side of the store and just like greeting people and just doing my thing. So I don't want to talk to her. I don't want to see her. I don't want to look at her. I don't want to hear her. Like I'm just so irritated with her. And she calls out my name and she goes with a soft, sweet voice, because that was her. Like she was one of those that when she knew she did something wrong, she used like the sweetest, softest voice. And she goes, Maria, can I talk to you? And I literally looked at her over my shoulder and I was like, nope. Then she got her regular Caitlin voice. She tells me, I just want to have a word with you real quick. And I turned around and I tell her, leave me alone, Caitlin. I don't want to talk to you. Do not talk to me. And I turned back around and just gave her my back again. And her tone switched so quick and she was like, okay, then I'm going to take it to HR. I looked at her and I was like, okay. And again, just minding my own business, looking straight in the entrance, greeting people, doing my job. And the girls from Benefit, the ones that had warned me, like he had it with her already. So when they saw me doing that, they were like, girl, you did not. I'm like, I did. And honestly, I'm like, I dare her to take her to HR. I dare her to take it to HR, because I will sit down with them and I will tell them everything I know and everything that y'all have told me. At this point, I don't care who I throw under the bus. I will tell them. Now that I think of it, I want to say that that was the like my lifetime event that like it kind of got like this little like rare that I had in me that I always like avoided, because all my life I had been avoiding confrontation. All my life I had been avoiding problems and conflict, and honestly, you guys, that is the one thing that I regret. I'm gonna have to do a part 2, you guys, because a girl, after this, we got into it because of Caitlin's daughter, Patricia, and Caitlin herself. But I'm gonna do a part 2 because I feel like this is gonna be really long if I do it all in one video. But if there's one thing I regret, you guys, is avoiding conflict all my life. It all comes from home, the way I was raised. But if there's something I regret a lot, you guys, not doing in high school, is some ass whooping. If there is something I can tell myself as a teenager or as a kid, is do not be afraid of getting in trouble. Do not be afraid of pissing anybody off and whoop some ass. Whoop their ass. Throw it down if you have to, because God, it feels so good when you stand up for yourself and when you put people in their place and when you draw the line and you tell them, I'm not the one. You might be able to be doing all your little shit over there with me, not me. I'm that bitch that you're gonna have to be careful with, because you know what? It feels so good. It feels so good to put people in their place, honestly. I have so much tea to tell you guys, but I'm gonna make another video because I got a lot, you guys. Besides that whole little daughter situation, I got a lot that I'm gonna get off my chest, and I'm gonna tell you. I can tell you that from that place, I left with a reputation that I'm not the one to be messing with, and I proved them that a lot of times. That will be for the next story time, because again, I didn't expect for me to get into so much detail with this first event. This was supposed to be like the first thing that happened leading to like the next events, but I'm just gonna make a part 2. Y'all gonna like it. Y'all gonna like the cheese, okay? But you guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know like I'm just with the, I was supposed to change and like fix my hair or whatever, but I don't know. Yeah, I don't feel like changing today. I feel like being like my own tomboy self like today. It's like a beat face tomboy. It's literally how I dress every day, you guys. I literally either have like a t-shirt or a long sleeve, like black leggings and some boots. That's literally how I dress every day. So y'all, if y'all see me getting all cute, it's for you guys, but not today. Not today. Wait to come back to YouTube, huh? But anyways, you guys, I'll see you guys on the next story time. Please stay tuned for part 2. I hope to God this video is not too long, because goddamn. But it feels so good to be back, you guys. But anyways, I'll see you guys next time. Take care. The E brother.